So welcome to Retro Roboland. In this episode I'm going to make a Franken-harvester, that's right, for the Kitbash challenge. This is what it's going to look like. Retro Roboland, here we are, making retro models. Now, the idea here was a challenge Longquechen, TRC Studio and Scaleton over on Instagram came up with. Longquechen did this picture of a helicopter with wheels, which is kind of cool, and build something based on that. So yeah, I took a kit, an Airfix Zero kit and a Jeep kit. And then the idea I had was, well, what if a farmer in 1947 went to the scrapyard and he built a harvester out of a plane and other bits of junk. So I did a bit of sketching, got the idea of a harvester, and then made the Jeep as the body, and then the pilot or farmer, he sits up top and drives this thing. So anyway, I got busy. Now the harvesting bit, whatever it is that gets the corn, I made out of some kind of keychain links and some special type of material. I don't know what it was, a net curtain type thing. I needed a base to get it close to the ground. A Jeep is quite high off the ground. Then I got busy drawing. Now this is done portrait, or so that it fits on Instagram. You check out my Instagram page, I'll link that below, as well as the other blokes. And yeah, I kind of, this is the idea, like it's harvesting through the fields. Then I got some epoxy putty on the base, made the kind of shoot things where the grain goes up out of balsawood, the plain kind of cowling, and then look, I had a lot of hand shots, too much hand shots. So really, I was concentrating on the build. This is kind of what it looks like in a sort of rough time lapse to got to this point here, where yeah, that's the different bits and pieces, beads and wire and stuff like that. There it is with the semaphore highlights on it. And then I got busy, masked off the top and did the rust coat underneath with 3 layers of colour. First up, I kind of mix everything up in this shot glass I got from Target, and then what you do here is 3 layers of brown, and then a kind of an orange colour, and finally a dark brown. It was fitting the reference photographs on the base bit, so the machinery. The plane is silver, of course, and then I put on hairspray. So this is actual hairspray chipping. It's all over the internet. I then filled up this kind of green in my little cup. As I said, I'm going to cut this down a little bit because I lose a lot of the paint, and it's expensive, this airbrush paint. It gets kind of caught on the side, but if it's like a centimetre height, it worked pretty well, and that's cheap. And then I just sprayed the green on, left it to dry, activated water just with the spray, and then you just sort of scrape away. I use a toothpick here, I used a brush, and you can control where it sort of peels back. That was the first layer of that, kind of like an undercoat. Then I went back, put on a epoxy coat, and then painted on blue over the hairspray, second time around. And then when I peeled this back, you had a two-tone, and there probably wasn't a big enough colour differential between the green and the blue. So that's fairly subtle, but you know, this is the first time I've tried this at all, and it came out pretty well. I then put on some decals again to make it look, it was just fully painted up when you went to the kit, went to the scrapyard to get all the different bits and pieces, and then finally went over with the oil highlights. Now I made the field out of this welcome mat, sort of brushed cotton, cut out a shape, then used my lightsaber to cut the foam down. It is a lightsaber, don't say any different. And then another thin lit layer, and just I had the mat on wood, and then this just sort of keep it even, and then I cut it down so that it could fit into the base. I put milliput in there, so indentations, painted the whole thing in kind of brown, then put some dirt on, a little bit of airbrush to make it two-tone. It's particularly around the base. I wanted it to look like a big chunk of earth, like it made it out of earth. And then, yeah, there we go. That's what it kind of looks like. Finished pictures now. Also used a static grass applicator. So yeah, first time kit bashing. It's something I'd like to do again. Thanks to the fellas for putting together the challenge. It's still ongoing. Check out their pages on Instagram if this is something that interests you, if you're into modelling. And that's where we're heading. Thanks for watching Retro Roboland. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Like, comment, whatever you want. Bye bye.